Don't get stuck in the science around your training. So many people out there get so stuck in the weeds of what percentage of this training should we do and what percentage of that training should we do. It's all about HIIT, it's all about zone 2, it's all about this. You need 2 strength days a week, you need 1 yoga day a week. There's just too much information out there right now that clouds the key focus that pretty much every beginner endurance athlete, um, especially in triathlon, but also in running, swimming, biking, as individual sports, uh, it just clouds their focus as to how can they best improve without opening themselves up to potential injury. Now, there are some key points for everyone who want to get faster for longer periods of time. And these key points basically center around the different phases of training that you would undergo if you were going to do a formal Ironman prep or formal marathon prep, an ultra prep, whatever. All these concepts for endurance training are essentially the same. Now, in my coaching system, I refer to these as the base phase, the build phase, the polish phase, and then the peak phase. Now, the base phase, surprisingly, is one of those phases that if you do this properly, you could very easily get to the point where just with that, you'll be able to finish a 70.3 or a marathon or even a full Ironman as long as time isn't your priority. If you're not trying to significantly PR or you're just going for your first one, if you do a really high quality base phase, this is where you're going to get the lion's share of that healthy foundation that you need to complete a race. Everything else after that, really, you only get the full benefit of the build phase, of the polish phase, and of the peak phase by having a really good base phase. And I don't want to just confuse this with anaerobic base. This is completely separate. This is just the base phase of your training. So, what encompasses the base phase of your training? This would be where you are aiming to improve your low aerobic training volume. And the reason you're doing this is because low aerobic training is predominantly done by accumulating volume. And by accumulating volume, you're maximizing the capillarization effects, the mitochondrial density effects, and the durability of being able to sustain high volumes of miles on your legs or on your body for a given period of time. This is where you build true durability in your sport. The key with this is, though, that this takes a long time to build, and it's one of the reasons why a peak and from build to peak, it might be maybe like a 12-week period for a serious runner. The whole rest of their year they can spend in a base phase and they'll only be benefiting from that. Some runners, even if they take a full year off of competing, will bridge their last season that they just competed in all the way to not the next year but the following year, so over a year long base phase, and still PR in that next year because of the work that they've been just slowly building their capacity over that period of time. Now, what you can start to insert into your base phase once you become robust enough where you're not likely to get injured is a exercise called striders. And what striders do is they tap into your anaerobic system and your fast twitch system by pushing well past your threshold paces. In other words, you basically do 20-second sprints every minute, and honestly, I'll just do sets of 8. So at the end of an easy run, maybe 2 days a week, I will do 8 striders, which takes no more than 8 minutes. And that is sufficient to engage my fast twitch muscles or my anaerobic system to allow me to not only be building my aerobic base, but also to improve my running form and get faster over that same period of time. So, to summarize, the base phase is all about building volume and tapping into very slightly that anaerobic system in order to improve your mechanics, improve the way you process oxygen, and improve your baseline speed over a long period of time. Only after that, once you want to get into a formal build, polish, and peak phase of training, which doesn't need to take nearly as long once you have a good base, only then will you start to insert real speed days. And these speed days might be at threshold pace, they might be faster than threshold pace, but these are like your marathon type workouts at either marathon pace, half marathon pace, so on and so forth. If you're interested in biking or swimming, it's the equivalent, but for those disciplines, this is where you're putting in your speed work. But again, for 99% of people out there, if you just focus on a very good base phase, you will be perfectly fine. You'll be PRing year over year. You'll just be feeling good. Excuse me. And the likelihood that you'll get injured is way lower. So please don't get caught up in the science. Don't get caught up in, this mechanism, that mechanism, fat adapted, carb adapted. If you're a beginner in the sport, you're a beginner to endurance, please, please, please focus on building up your volume, settling in at that volume, and then allowing training consistently over a long period of time to do its work on you. And in other words, allow you to get faster slowly over time, faster and stronger slowly over time.